there were black Jews in Africa, in Egypt, or the Sudan, before there were ever any other kind of Jews there. Because what defines a Jew was, to some degree, not to all degree, stolen from the Egyptians. That is to say, a supreme god, circumcision, all that kind of stuff. The Egyptians were doing that. Now, there were black Egyptians who were doing it before the biblical Hebrews picked that up during the Exodus, when they were in Egypt.
So who are the real Jews? And there's really two answers to that question. It's going to upset a lot of people. Well, the Fehalim, which is a term for the so-called Palestinians, the migrant farmers that never left the land of Israel in 70 of the Common Era when the Romans came in. They still were attached to the land. They were called the Fehalim, or what we call today the so-called Palestinians, are in fact the descendants of the poor agricultural Jewish society that stayed in the land, yet they converted to Islam in the 6th and 7th centuries to avoid paying the Islamic jizya tax, because if they had done that, they would have lost their land, and they were attached to the land, so therefore they converted to Islam so that they could stay in the land, working the soil that their forefathers worked. This is recognized in 1918 by the historians David Ben-Gurion, who of course was the future Prime Minister of Israel back then, and Yitzhak Ben-Zvi, the future President of Israel. Both of them historians recognize this fact. Today, of course, it's buried in your history books.